You guys, I am so excited because I finally got the iPhone 11. It's been a long time coming. Before that I was using the 7S. So going from the 7S to the 11, it's insane. And just looking at like picture quality compared to what I was dealing with on the 7S, and I also upgraded to a phone with a little bit more storage because I was always having to forever like delete everything before I could do anything, and I couldn't have like all the apps I wanted on my phone. These are all like crazy first world problems, I know, but as a content creator and as someone who, has to take like a billion pictures for her reselling business, having a functioning phone is making such a difference. So I'm so excited about this upgrade, and hopefully you guys are able to recognize the improvement in quality too, just like in my videos and in my pictures. So let me know in the comment section down below if you notice a difference and if you enjoy it. But I am just so excited about this phone. Hopefully this helps me level up my game.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tappings for your neck.
It is Monday night. It is like 10:10. I have a bunch of packages to do from stuff that sold yesterday and today. And yeah, so we're going to do that. And I did not list any new stuff today, but I did list 9 things yesterday. And I had 2 things that I listed as part of this, 100 item from our death pile challenge thing. I have 2 things that sold that are going to go out today. So I'll show you those here in a second once I pull them. So of the 2 items that I sold from this listing challenge, this is one of them. It's by the brand Majestic Athletic. Look at how gross my nails are, by the way. Obviously, I need to redo them. But it's like an authentic MLB collection, which is a baseball, in case you don't know sports. But yeah, this is a Cleveland Indians jacket, and it has like a big patch on this one sleeve of their mascot, and then it has another patch on the other sleeve of an American flag. And this was purchased, I think someone was watching it, and then I sent out an offers to like her, and it was, or offers to watch her. It sounded like a corporation that bought it, like Shop Airport or something like that. So I don't know if that means it's a drop shipper, or I don't know, but I really don't care because they bought it for $69.99 and I bought it for $6.99. So that was really exciting, and it's in really good condition. And then the other item that I picked up, I got on that same trip, and I went to Goodwill. I vlogged it last week, and I'll link that video here, but I went to Goodwill to look for stuff to put in Courtney from Common Tags' holiday box swap, because I just didn't have anything. I hadn't even gone thrifting yet, but I wasn't really able to find lightweight stuff. I was just finding big jacket stuff like this, and I also found this there, and I didn't look up comps really while I was there. I just saw that it looked really interesting. It was made in Austria. The brand is Geiger, and it is made of 100% wool, as you can see right there. But I thought that the print was just really perfect for this season, with it being like the holidays, and it just had this really beautiful kind of plaid print, and it was this green color, and it has these little embroidered details on it, as you can see. But it sold for $40 today, so I was really excited about that. So among 5 other packages, I'm packaging these up too. So that night, I had a bunch of pictures on my phone that I had taken pictures of maybe a little bit earlier that week, and I wanted to go ahead and start editing the pictures, and I wanted to show you kind of what my process looked like. So this is a screenshot of my phone, and the first thing I wanted to do was set a stopwatch so that I could see how long it would take me to edit all of these pictures. And I forget exactly how many there were. I will count through them and let you know in a little bit so that you can see how long it took me to edit them. I think it was 19 pictures, but I'll double check. And so a few things that you saw me do were things like obviously start my timer, and I also turn on an office of the episode to play in the background just so I can listen to it. This is all stuff that I'm doing as I'm laying in bed with my son, because I still nurse him to sleep, and this is either while he's nursing or he's sleeping, and I'm just kind of laying there with him. But you see me do things like rotate pictures, because for whatever reason, especially with my 7S, and these are all pictures that were taken on my 7S, you'll see that on my 7S, they just don't take in the direction that I want them to, so I have to rotate almost every single picture. And then you'll see me use an app called Pick Tap Go, And I have it integrated with the photo editing software, if you want to call it that already comes with the iPhone. Just like any picture that you take on the iPhone, you just use the photo editing app. And I have PicTap Go as part of that app. I just press edit, and then I can select PicTap Go as an app that I want to use. So I use that to brighten up a lot of my pictures that may just look kind of dark to begin with. I also use the exposure within that iPhone editing app as well to help fix any, pictures that are a little too dark, or if I want to make things a little bit more clear or add more saturation to the color. I can do all that without having to really use any other apps than the iPhone itself. So that's the first thing that I do. And then later you'll see me go into Snapseed, and that's where I will do things like eliminate any clutter that may appear on the side of any pictures, or that's where I can brighten up pictures even more, or just make the background as like stark white as possible. So you're gonna see me do all that, and I'm gonna fast forward through the rest of my editing, but I will let you see how much time it ended up taking me in the end. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing, but this time I am going to time how long it takes me to list those 10 items onto Poshmark. So you're going to see me open the app, and here are all the pictures that I just edited, and I'm going to start at the top with the tie, and I'm going to go ahead and select my cover shot. I'm not going to add any of the filters that Poshmark offers you. I think that they actually make the pictures look pretty bad. So you'll see some of the items, I have them starting with 4 for $25 in my listing title, and the reason for that is just because it's not an item that I anticipate will sell on its own. I feel like I need to kind of help the item out a little bit, and I do that by throwing it in my eternal or everlasting 4 for $25 sale. And that's just items that I feel like are not going to get very much by themselves, but maybe they're good bundling pieces. And I have been listing a decent number of ties lately, so my hope is that someone will just go in and bundle like 4 ties, and they'll get 4 of them for $25. So once I create my listing title, I go ahead and write my description. I keep it pretty brief, like I will write a 1 to 2 sentence description about the item, maybe giving suggestions for where they can wear this item, what kind of event it would be for, or how they can, pair it with other pieces. And then I have a keyboard shortcut, and I do have a video about this in my YouTube channel that I will link here. And basically the keyboard shortcut is a way where instead of having to type multiple sentences like over and over again, especially if they are sentences that you frequently use, you can just create a keyword for those sentences, and when you type out that keyword, then out pops those 2 sentences or 3 sentences or however long your phrase is. So I have a keyboard shortcut created for something that I put at the end of every listing, and what I do is I will either type the word item with a question mark at the end, or the word shoes with a question mark at the end, and then when I do that, out pops a few sentences, and it says something like, item is in excellent use condition with no holes, rips, or stains. Measurements are shown in the pictures. Please bundle with other items from my closet for the best deal. So that's 3 sentences that if I were to have to type them out again and again and again, that adds up. That's a lot of time. So rather than typing those sentences over and over again, or even putting that phrase in my notes section of my phone or something and copying and pasting every time I list, this just helps me be more efficient with my time. All I have to do is type the word item, and I'm good to go. Right now you see me looking up comps for this pair of shoes by Circus by Sam Edelman, and I'm just using information that I'm finding from other people's listings of these shoes to get an idea of how much I should price them, as well as maybe just other information that they have about this shoe. I'm going to go ahead and keep listing, but I will go ahead and fast forward through the rest of it, and then we'll see how much time it took me to list these 10 items. One other thing that I will note is that you probably notice after I list each item, I go into either my feed or the party that's happening at the time, and I share a few items from at least 4 people's closets. I do that because as I'm listing, I like to visit other people's closets and hopefully bring attention to my closet. I just feel like if I am active in ways other than just listing, so by following people that I haven't been following already or going into other people's closets and sharing, I'm hoping that Poshmark can see that I'm doing all the things and they will reward me by, rewarding me in the algorithm. So that's just something that I do personally, and obviously that takes up a little bit more time. I just feel like it's worth it. And then I do find that a lot of times those people whose closets I shared from or who I just followed, they will in turn visit my closet and share items from my closet, often the items that I just listed, and it just helps me get some more exposure to my listings that I've just listed. So you'll see that it takes me about 25 minutes to list those 10 items, which isn't horrible. And that's with me, again, going in and sharing people's items as I list as well. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't the woe. Do 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 do. Superstition ain't the way. I don't know. Do superstition. Superstition ain't the way. Superstition ain't It is Wednesday today, and so far this week I've only gotten 9 listings up. It has been really busy all week with performances, and tonight I have a caroling gig with my students. We're singing for the bar association, so I think a bunch of lawyers, I'm not quite sure, but we have a caroling gig. But today, right after school when there's some sunlight, I did have some time to come home and take pictures. I'm going to try to get as much photographed as possible so that I can get that stuff listed, and then hopefully tomorrow and Friday I can race home after school too, because I don't think I have any obligations right after school. Then I can get some stuff photographed then. It's just really hard for me to do stuff on the weekends because my kids are home and, I want to spend time with them. They want to spend time with me. And that honestly is a little bit more important to me than, taking pictures of stuff and listing things. But when they're not here and when I have the house to myself for a precious 45 minutes, I'm going to do as much as I can when it comes to photographing. So I'm going to see what I can get done in an hour. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to let you see how many things I'm able to take pictures of. That also includes me having to sort through some bags that I have clothes in. So it's not going to be literally just me taking pictures for an hour. I do have to get organized a little bit, but still you can kind of see what I'm able to accomplish in an hour. I'm also going to take downstairs to my dining room some clothes that are white or just lighter in general, because my dining room walls are this really rich dark blue color, and white just looks so much better on that wall than it does on this wall in my playroom. So I'll show you kind of what that setup looks like down there. Oh, by the way, at this moment in time, let's see, I ended last week with 36 listings done. I did 9 on Monday. So right now I have 47. So we still have a lot to do. So that's why we got to take as many pictures as we can. Okay, let's go. This is me trying to get my inventory just kind of organized, and as you can see, the playroom where I do all of my reselling stuff and the place where my kids play is very messy. All of the clothes that are against the wall have actually already been photographed and listed. They just need to be inventoried, and you can see kind of on the left side of the frame all of those bins. That's where I put all of my inventory. So it's just getting everything from the wall into the bins. But you also see me pull out this diaper box. We have a lot of diaper boxes because my son is still in diapers, and you see me throw in there anything that is white or lighter colored, so beiges or maybe light grays. And that's because I'm going to take that box of stuff downstairs to photograph against my blue wall in my dining room. But you can also see me taking stuff out of garbage bags and hanging them up. Those garbage bags are from the garage sale that my students from the theater troupe at my school had months ago at this point. And I had gone around as we were collecting donations from community members, and I had pulled items that I felt like I could make more money from in my POSHMARK closet or eBay store than what we would be able to get from selling those items at the garage sale. So I had pulled those items, and as you can see, I still had a lot of items left to list. So that's what I'm pulling out of these garbage bags. I had also put in the garbage bags some of my own belongings that I didn't want to wear anymore, just stuff that, just didn't fit my aesthetic anymore, and I was going to try and sell those items. But then if you see me kind of chuck something across the room, that's because I decided it just wasn't even worth reselling. Maybe it was stained, maybe it just was so out of style that it just was not going to sell in my Poshmark closet or eBay store. And those items you see me kind of like throw off to the side, and that's because I have another pile off to the side where I am collecting items to donate to Goodwill or to a local thrift store. When I am going through my inventory like this, I do like to have different piles. So I have my garment rack, and that's where I'm hanging stuff up that I know I'm going to just go ahead and photograph against this wall right behind me. I have my box of stuff that it is just too light and it's not going to look good on that wall. And then I also have an area where I'm going to put the stuff that I want to donate. If I need to create more piles for different things, like I have had piles of stuff that I know I'm going to be giving to someone else, or I've had piles where I know that it's stuff that I'm taking to a specific thrift store, or maybe I have a pile of stuff that I'm taking to a buy-sell trade store like Plato's Closet. It just helps me stay organized so that I'm not just like looking at clothing and going, what am I going to do with this? So that's what I'm attempting to do right now in this clip. We're going to walk into my dining room right now with all my mismatched chairs, and this is where my son plays food truck. But as you can see, the walls are just this beautiful dark blue. We painted it when we moved in, obviously not with reselling in mind, because I didn't start reselling till we had lived here for a couple years, but we just really liked this dark color with like the white trim on the windows. And what I did was I just put a command hook on the wall. That's what I do in the playroom as well. I just have a command hook, and I brought, I didn't, I have to go back upstairs and get them, but I'll bring my hangers back down, and I'm gonna hang up anything that's like white or beige or even a light gray, anything that just is kind of hard to differentiate against a white wall. I'm gonna take pictures of those here, so I'll show you what that looks like. I should probably steam these items, but I'll be honest with you, I'm just gonna take the picture and see what happens. These are also items, again, they're like in my death pile, and they've been in my death pile for a reason. I just wanna get them listed. I'm not like super passionate about them. I just need to get them in my Poshmark closet and in my eBay store, get them moved on to their new homes. A lot of them are things that I got for free from friends, including this next bunch of stuff that I'm about to take pictures of. So it's like I've already, received the item. It's not like I need to make a huge amount on them. I just want to get them listed and get them out of my house. So even though they could probably afford a great steam, my steamer is at my student photographer's house. I don't feel like investing in another one. So we're just gonna get these pictures taken, and yeah, it's better than not taking pictures of them, right? So when I take a picture of an item, I use almost all the time. So first I will take a picture of the front, obviously, and then I will take a picture of the back, but I'll also take a picture of the tag, including the size tag and the brand, and I will take a picture of the care tag, or the tag that tells you what materials were used to make this garment. So usually that's like front is one, the back is another picture, the brand name and size is another one, and then tags can either be like 1 or 2 pictures, and then I will take pictures of the measurements, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. This here is just like a new with tags, short sleeve button up from Loft, and if it's new with tags, I will also take pictures of the tags, and if there are sales tags attached to it, like those red clearance stickers or something, I will take those off so that, the buyer doesn't know that it was on sale. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these pictures. I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So here's me taking a picture of the front. And with pictures, you want to make sure that you're always using square mode, because that's the kind of pictures that Poshmark takes. If you don't take your pictures in square mode and you take them in regular mode, then Poshmark will go ahead and like crop out some of the picture. And if you took the picture so that it fills up the whole frame like I did here, you can see, oh, it's kind of hard to see because of the glare. But you can see, like, if this were to get cropped at all, then we're just not even going to see some of the shirt, which would be really stinky. So, and then also, if there are like buttons on the shirt or anything like that, I do like to button everything up just so they have a really accurate picture of what the item looks like. So I'm going to take some more pictures. Like I I said, I like to take measurements of pictures with the garment laying down, and I won't write out the measurements. I'll just literally take pictures of my measuring tape on the garment. So I'll show you what I mean. But before I do that, ta-da, I got a new iPhone. It was seriously about time, and this thing takes amazing pictures, so I'm so excited. But let me take you with me to show you how I'm gonna take measurements of my clothes on the ground here. There's a better view of my son's food truck toy. With shirts, I typically just do 2 pictures for measurements. I will do one of the armpit to armpit for the bust, and then I will do one of the length. And the way that I do that is I will take the seam from the neckline and I will just go all the way down to the bottom, and I'll make sure to pull, you know, the clothes taut so that I get the most accurate measurement possible. And I don't know, I just feel like this saves time rather than writing down the measurement somewhere and then transferring that information into the listing. I just feel like that takes so much time, and I don't know, this has always worked for me. And sometimes like I will take pictures and maybe things are not pulled as taut as they should be, and you know, in that case the buyer will just ask me for a better picture of the measurement. But you know, that way buyers can see exactly how I'm getting the measurement, and I haven't really had any cases opened on me for fit or anything like that, or you know, saying you said this was, you know, pit to pit measurement of 18, but it's actually 22. Like, they're able to see in the picture why I'm saying that it's 22 or 18 inches or whatever, and I haven't had any issues with that. Also, if there's anything special about the garment, like this particular top, it had really cute buttons along the sleeve right here, and it had a little bit of pilling actually, like kind of by the armpit area. So anything special or any flaws, as minor as they may be, I take pictures of those things as well. 1, so that the buyer can see it, and 2, so that when I go to list, I can remember those things, because you take so many pictures of so many different things and you kind of forget the special things about each garment. So I make sure to take a picture of all those kinds of things. So for pants, actually, I do a few different measurements than obviously I do for tops. So the first thing that I will do is I will take a measurement of the waist. So I'll just make sure, again, that it's like nice and taut, and I'll put my measuring tape down, and I will take a picture so that people can see the waist measurement. And then I will do the rise. So I will start at the crotch seam, and then I will just go all the way up. And this way people know if it's like low rise, mid rise, or high rise. This is almost 10 inches, so we would probably call that a mid rise. High rise really is kind of like anything that is over 10 inches. Some people will say 9 to 10, but I think really like a high rise fit is more over 10 inches. And then again, I will go from the crotch seam down to the bottom hem to get the inseam measurement. And these are kind of cropped because they're like, not kind of, they are cropped. They are 25.5 inches long for the inseam, so I'll take a picture of that. And then I also haven't taken a picture of the care tag yet that has the fabric content, so I'm gonna do that. Oh, and this is like a pair of linen pants. These actually went to ThredUp and they did not sell there, so I reclaimed them and they came back to me. So I'm gonna try listing them and selling them again with better pictures. I think originally I had taken pictures of them on my white wall and it was just really hard to tell the color and, you know, just the quality of the pants. So I'm going to take a picture even close up of the fabric because there is some lurex in it, which is like a metallic thread, and I want people to be able to see that. An hour has passed and I was able to take pictures of 18 things, and that was with me like stopping to talk to you guys a lot, and that was with me like organizing stuff and bringing stuff downstairs, getting everything set up with like all of my materials that I needed down here. So not too shabby. Even though an hour has passed, I do have a little bit more daylight, as you can see behind me, and I still have a little bit of time before everyone comes home. So I'm gonna keep going and see if I can get up to 30. That's gonna be my goal. Let's go. Back upstairs, it's super messy. Again, all the stuff that I need to get inventoried. This is stuff that I'm gonna photograph, but I'm starting with this pile of pants on the floor first because they take up the most space. So if I can get rid of that stuff, then I've kind of cleaned up this area a little bit, if you can believe it. It's not super clean, but it's cleaner than it was. So I'm gonna work on these pants first, even though I'm so sick of looking at pants. If you are following me on Instagram, which if you aren't, you should, it's at Becky Park on POSHMARK. But on Instagram, I talked about how I'm running a pant sale in my POSHMARK closet where all women's pants are 50% off because I'm sick of looking at them. I have so many pairs of pants. I've got like jeans, I've got career wear pants, you know, like pants that you'd wear to the office by brands like Banana Republic and Loft and Express, and I am just so sick of looking at them and sharing them, so I want them gone. If you need pants in your life, and I've got pants of all different sizes, please come to my POSHMARK closet, bundle them. I will send you a 50% off offer. You can send me an offer. I gotta get rid of them. So I am working on even more pants. Some men's pants are mixed in here as well, but let's get to it. I am getting ready for our caroling event tonight, so I thought I would just chit chat with you while I curl my hair. And I don't like typically do a lot of fancy things when it comes to getting ready because I just don't have the time. I don't wear a lot of makeup. The only makeup that I wear is eyeliner and brow stuff. Like I draw my brows on, otherwise I look like I'm dying. But I do like to every once in a while curl my hair because it really doesn't take that long. And before I start curling it, if I'm like planning ahead, after I get out of the shower, I'll show you the products I use. I will put this Dove Styling Care, I'll like spray it in my hair because it has like Smooth and Shine heat protection spray. I just sprayed some now, even though I showered yesterday, and hopefully it'll protect my hair a little bit. And then usually right after I get out of the shower, I will put on this Aveda Damage Remedy Daily Hair Repair. It's like a gel. I don't know, what do they call it? But you just kind of like work it through your hair, and it's supposed to help protect your hair whenever you do any like heat styling to it, like curling. And then the curling iron that I use, it's just by Conair. I got it at like Meijer or I think I got it at Target. It's definitely nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. And I just, take sections of my hair and I try to take like random sized sections. I don't want it to look too uniform. And I'll go in different directions too, based on kind of like which layer I'm on. But yeah, I'll just curl it like this. And it takes me like 10 minutes to do my whole head. So I will do it every once in a while because I know that it adds a little like oomph to my look. So that's what I'm doing right now. But really quickly, I just wanted to touch on something that someone had mentioned in one of the comments. And, I was talking about how last week I had only done 38 listings. I can't remember now. But, I hadn't even hit 40. And I was talking about how I wanted to try and make sure that I hit 100 this week. And the viewer was saying something about how, it was really only like 7 listings a day or something like that, which I feel like if you are doing this full time, that's definitely more than manageable. Or if you don't have kids, but you work full time, again, that's like super manageable. Especially like if you're not married, I feel like it's manageable. But I think what is so difficult about reselling part-time with a full-time job, with kids, with a husband, with like, other responsibilities too. Like I sing at my church and my husband's really busy with church and things like that. I think what makes it so difficult is the fact that there's so many things vying for your time. So if I wasn't married, if I didn't have kids, then I could just come home right from work and just do reselling things. But the reality is that I could be fine eating whatever fast food every day, or I wouldn't want fast food every day, but I could be fine eating like whatever. But it's not just me, it's also like my husband and my kids. My kids are pretty active and they do a lot of different things. I talked in my last video about how much my son, who is 2.5, how much he loves gymnastics, and my daughter also goes to gymnastics. And, we have things like parent-teacher conferences to go to. So it's just really busy, like not just with reselling stuff or even my full-time job stuff, but it's really busy doing stuff for the other people in my family. And I will say I'm so lucky because my husband is so supportive, not just like by saying or showing his support of like, hey, yeah, you can resell or you can do what you want with your free time. But he really supports me by his acts of service. And what I mean by that is ever since I started reselling, he really kind of picked up the slack when it came to things like cooking. Like he honestly, oh, I dropped my rubber band. He honestly does the majority of the cooking in our house, and he cleans the most. He does the most laundry. Like I really don't have to do a lot of stuff when it comes to things around the house, even things like bills and stuff. Like he just takes care of all of that, which gives me the time that I need to do reselling on the side. And, you know, some people actually made the comment of, how do you get all of the stuff that you get done? And the answer really is because my husband was willing to pick up the slack elsewhere. And obviously, like, you know, one question that I got a long time ago, maybe it was on YouTube, I don't remember, or Instagram, but someone asked me, like, how do you get your significant other to take reselling seriously, to take your side hustle seriously and support you? And honestly, I think for me, it was just showing my husband that I was going to be consistent with it, and that with my consistency would come consistency with the amount of money that I was able to bring in doing it. And I think it was through that he finally was like, okay, this is not just a fad, because I have had those instances too where like I have a new hobby and I'm all in for like 6 months and I spend all this money on it and it doesn't actually amount to anything. And obviously, like, most hobbies also are not hobbies that like make you money, they just like take your money. But when he started to see the amount of money that I was earning through reselling, he was like, oh my gosh, like this is something serious. And obviously it benefited him too. So he was willing to throw his support behind what I was doing. And honestly, even when I wasn't making money, when I was first just starting out and sales were far and few in between, he was really supportive. And I think that's how I'm able to do what I'm able to do. But even with that, there are still other things going on in our life. So I cannot just do reselling day in, day out. And that's why sometimes even thinking about 7 listings a day, like it's not always feasible. So this is what my hair looks like now. It looks a lot better than what it looked like today. And I'm gonna spray some more stuff in it. I have a few options. I like love sample stuff from like Sephora. So I don't really have any like actual full size things, but these are like products that I've used and I really like. So this is the Bumble and Bumble BB Thickening Dry Spun Texture Spray. And I have the Moroccan Oil Dry Texture Spray as well. And I also have the Living Proof Restore Perfecting Spray. Of the 3, this is probably my favorite because it's not just like, you know, thickening my hair or like creating texture or whatever, but I feel like, well, it's a conditioning detangling spray. So I feel like it just helps my hair not feel so coarse, and it adds like a little bit of, I don't know, yeah, conditioning and like moisture back into it. So I like that about it. So I'm just gonna spray this pretty liberally throughout. But I do like the BB thickening and the Moroccan oil as well. Like nothing wrong with them, but this just makes my hair feel a little bit better. And this dress that I'm wearing, I thrifted. It's just from H&M, but I just thought it was like the perfect holiday dress, perfect for like holiday parties or for caroling events like what I'm gonna go to today. And the tights that I'm wearing are from Forever 21 from a long time ago. And I am in the market for tights. So if you have any tights in your POSHMARK closet that are just like fun with fun prints, or even honestly, you just need like black ones too, or gray ones too. If you have good quality ones, please tag me in them. My POSHMARK closet is Becky Park, so you can just tag me at Becky Park. And I am in desperate need of tights, so I will come shop your closet. By the way, I forgot to mention that I ended up with 26 items photographed. I think that was the final number, 26 or 28. So throughout the day, I'm going to be working on listing those items, and I will like go through and edit, and you kind of saw my editing process, but I'll go through and edit all of them, and probably again, like at night while I'm nursing my son to sleep, that's when I will edit. Hopefully I'll list like half of those items today, and then we'll get a bunch listed tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm also planning on, like I said, running home from school, and well, not actually running, driving home from school very fast. Well, not too fast, like following the speed limit and all that stuff, but getting home as quickly as possible so that I can take more pictures and meet my goal for the week. So we are doing all the things, people, but soon my husband and daughter are going to be home and I'm going to go pick up my son from daycare. And before I pick up my son, I'm going to just do a couple packages. So yeah, that's what's up. I stayed after work today so that I could finish editing my What Sold video from last week. Today is Friday, so obviously I'm getting a really late start on this. It's uploading right now, which usually takes a little bit of time. It's like a close to 30-minute video, so I will let it upload for as long as I can until I have to pick up my son. But up until then, I thought I would just kind of share my thoughts with you on something that I've been thinking about today. I had a conversation with a student who had pretty high hopes for winning something, and he didn't. He still was honored in a way, but he didn't win. And I knew in the back of my mind that it was going to affect him kind of negatively, but that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So he wanted to talk to me in class about it, and we started talking. He got a little emotional, so we stepped out in the hallway and were able to like properly talk without, the prying eyes of his peers. But something I took away from it, and something that I had to keep reminding him of, as well as kind of reminding myself of in the process, is that one, we're never done evolving as human beings. More so than being really upset at himself for not winning, he was really upset at himself that he couldn't be happy for his peers that had won or that had placed. And it was eating him up that he couldn't be happy for them, and he wanted to be a better person than that. And I told him, I said, it takes practice, and the fact that you are aware of the fact that you're not responding the way that you should is a step in the right direction. It's proof that you are going to continue growing, and the fact that you want to grow in that direction as a human being is wonderful, because honestly, that's a part of being human that a lot of people are missing. I feel like a lot of people just don't even have the ability to see where they're lacking, and they feel like everyone else is the problem. I bring this up because I feel like most people in the reselling community are pretty wonderful people. We're very generous with the information that we know. We are rooting for those around us. But I will say, it's not like it necessarily comes naturally for everyone. And I know I've spoken about this before, but if I'm being 100% honest with you and with myself, it's not like it's in my nature to just want to root for other people to succeed. Because I think that sometimes the thought is, if someone else is successful or if someone else succeeds, that means they've taken that success away from me, instead of thinking or believing that there's enough space for all of us. I don't feel very envious towards other resellers, surprisingly enough, when it comes to reselling. And I think a lot of that is because I'm able to keep my context in perspective. I know it's dumb of me to compare myself to other resellers who are selling full-time, for example. But I do get kind of in a weird place sometimes when it comes to YouTube. And it is really hard for me to stop caring about, well, this person started later than me and they have more subscribers, or this person has this many views on this video. And if I'm being honest with you, when I'm not careful, I can get in a really dark place with that. I don't know, do you ever feel that way about things? Let me know. Maybe I'm the only one and I'm just the only awful person in this world. But it's something that I feel like there's hope in, because we can work on that as people. And that gives me hope. It gives me hope to know I'm not just stuck this way, but that I can actively do things to get myself in this frame of mind that wants to root for other people and wants other people to succeed. And I do think that the first step is to acknowledge the fact that there is growth to be made. And at least I'm there, right? At least I am acknowledging the fact that I'm not perfect, and I'm acknowledging that I want to grow as a person. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts about that. Just that comparison thief of joy thing that I know we talk about a lot when it comes to mental health and just being a good person. But I don't know, let me know if you struggle with that and what things you have found helpful in your growth as a person. To give you an update of how I'm doing on the challenge, it is Friday, 4:52 p.m. I have listed 72 items. I have sold 6 of those items, which is really exciting. A couple of those sold over on eBay, but I think 4 of them sold on Poshmark. I have 10 more items that are on my phone that I'm going to list today. Actually, like a mix of some hard good pieces that are just going to go on eBay, but also a few things that I'll put on Poshmark. So that'll leave me with only 18 things that I need to photograph and list over the weekend. Weekends are actually pretty hard for me in terms of doing reselling type things because tomorrow, for example, I have caroling with my students from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., which is insane. And then we're eating lunch, and then we have rehearsal until 5. So I'm literally with my students like all day. And then later that evening, my husband has a group of people from our church coming over for dinner. So it's going to be a full day. And I don't believe I can take any pictures tomorrow because by the time I get home, there will be no sunlight. And I don't know that I can take pictures before caroling in the morning just because I'll want to spend time with the kids and stuff. So that means I need to take like a gazillion pictures on Sunday, which will also be hard because Sunday before church, we have another caroling event. There's just so much going on. But I will figure it out and we will get these last 18 photographed and listed. Right now, while my video is uploading to YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and list the 10 things that I have in my phone, again, bringing my total to 82, and then I will let you know what happens for the remainder of the weekend. So I just did a screenshot of all of the new listings in my Poshmark closet, and once you go to your Poshmark closet, if you want to see your newest listings, you can just select just in, and then you can see all of the new stuff. So I'm trying right now to find my newest listings because they start at like a certain point, but even as I'm scrolling, you can see that some of them sold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to highlight some of the listings, and this weird picture of my face is the listing that I made for Courtney from Common Tags. That was my holiday swap box that she purchased from me. And then the 2 pairs of pants, those are actually multi-quantity listings. They're both brand new with tags, and they're both Cool, the brand Cool, which is Kuhl, and I got those via retail arbitrage, which I really don't do very often. So let's keep scrolling and see what else I have. So I have a couple jackets that I picked up from the last time I went to Goodwill. I got a Mountain Hardwear, a pair of pants, and that vintage Geiger 100% wool skirt. There is the Free People sweater that I talked about in a video. That Under Armour polo sold via Closet Clear Out, and like the technique that I like to do there. This weird floral jacket from Zenergy by Chico's is something that I had sent into ThreadUp, and then it came back to me because no one bought it on ThreadUp. Just some other stuff from Goodwill. Most of the stuff on this page is stuff that I got for free from my friend who had lost a bunch of weight doing the keto diet. Some more stuff from that same friend. And some of these items are not high ticket items. There's a text from one of my students. And then there are, yeah, just like pants and skirts from her. And then a tie that came from God knows where, I really don't know where. Just some more notifications on my phone. I think that I thought I pressed Do Not Disturb, but what I actually did was turn off my Wi-Fi, which was not helpful. The gingham pair of shoes is actually from a coworker. That purse is actually one of the very first things that I ever bought on Poshmark, but I just don't wear it. All of this stuff is stuff that I've had for a while, just either from like the garage sale that my students had. Like most of the stuff with the blue background, you saw me taking pictures of that stuff. Some of it, like those shorts from J. Crew Factory, are mine, as well as that two-tone Banana Republic shirt. But most of these are from that garage sale or ThreadUp rejects that hadn't sold via ThreadUp. You can see a number of items that have sold, and some stuff from actually one of my coworkers. What else is there? The tuxedo pants, those were from my via trading. Like, I still have stuff from that I never listed. Those 2 little pairs of girl shoes are actually my daughter's. She outgrew them. That eyeliner stuff is from my FabFitFun box. Is that how you say it? The Darth Vader thing is from a friend. What else? Some of the stuff up here is also from that same friend who lost a lot of weight. And then I have some more stuff that I just picked up at Goodwill, like that Cynthia Rowley turtleneck And that takes us to the end of my new listings on Poshmark. And then I also have this stuff here, which are only listed on eBay because of the nature of what the items are. So those are the 100 things that I was able to list. So if you are here at the end of our videos, we wanted to check in with each other, Amber and I, because we wanted to just kind of see how the other person's experience was. And we also wanted to ask each other some questions. So I'm going to be asking Amber 2 questions and you'll get to hear her answers here. But then if you want to hear her 2 questions to me, then you're going to have to make sure that you visit the link down below in my description, vice versa in hers, so that you can see how the other person answered. And it's not the same question. It's not like her response, or well, it's not like my response to her question and her response to her own question, but we have individual questions, and yeah, so you gotta watch both videos. But Amber, or do you have anything to add? Because I
was gonna say, we don't know each other's questions, so it is possible that we wrote down the same questions, but probably not likely.
Let's go ahead and get started with my 2 questions to Amber. My first one is, Amber, you are an actuary, which I always want to say accountant, but apparently you guys do very different things. But do you feel like there's anything in your actuary career that has helped you as a reseller?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think in almost every job, you have to deal a lot with numbers. And so obviously that's super, super helpful to see things in terms of like, what's the risk I'm taking? What's the profit I can make? What's the best investment of my money and my time? And so I think coming from a career where we're constantly talking about what's the risk of this project, what's the cost of this project, it makes me look at reselling through that perspective. So that, I would say that's the main thing that my career has helped me with, is just looking at things from a very logical perspective.
That's awesome. Is that what Jim Carrey's job was in Bruce Almighty?
I don't know if it was in that show. I know in Along Came Polly.
That's what I'm thinking. Ben Stiller.
Yeah, that's literally like half the time when I say my job, people are like, "Oh, is that what the guy in Along Came Polly does?"
That's right. Okay.
They need to have like another movie come out so that more and more people learn what the career is.
Yes. Okay.
But his job, I think in that movie, he prices life insurance, and that's literally what I do. Which not every actuary does that, but that's actually what I do.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, good. See, now people have a better understanding. If you don't know what that is, go watch Along Came Polly. It's Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston, I think. That was not my second question. Okay, my second question is, what part of this 2-week process did you loathe the most / what was the most enjoyable?
So I think the hardest part for me was that most of the time I don't worry about listing on weeknights, and I don't really like feel guilty if I don't list on weeknights. But with this challenge, I really felt like I needed to be listing consistently, even though I ended up not listing very much on weeknights anyways. So I think that was the hardest part, was just like I was putting guilt on myself to list more on weeknights, even though I wasn't getting that much up anyways on the weeknights. And the best part, it's like also almost a similar answer, like having the pressure was actually good. I don't know, it's like good and bad. Like it was bad because it made me feel a little bit more guilty all the time, but it was good because it pushed me to list more and to every day be thinking, how much are you going to get listed? What time do you have to list? And so it really made me focus on what I needed to get done, which was to list 100 items.
Awesome. So those were Amber's answers to my 2 questions, and it's awesome being able to FaceTime with her or just like video chat, because we haven't actually like seen each other face to face during this whole process. But if you wanted to see how I answered my questions, then make sure you head over to her video right now. Thank you for rooting for both Amber and myself as we tried to list 100 listings in 2 weeks. And I think both she and I were successful. So we really did feel your encouragement through Instagram DMs and even the comments that you guys left in the YouTube comment section of these videos. And a lot of you, it seems like, were actually inspired to start your own challenges for yourself to list your own death pile. So that's really great too. My hope is that you recognize that anything is really possible as long as you plan accordingly and prioritize. And I hope that all of you are having wonderful sales, even though it's not really like the best season for resellers. That being said, Amber, thank you so much for collaborating with me on this. I never really did like a great intro to who Amber is, and I think a lot of that is because I just assumed that you guys knew who she was already. But if you don't know, make sure that you check out her version of this challenge. I really enjoy Amber and have enjoyed watching her videos since really like she almost started on YouTube, basically, because she is very analytical in her thinking and she is very numbers oriented. So she is willing to tell you exactly, like to the cent, how much profit she made on each item, and she's able to give you a really realistic view of what reselling as a part-time seller looks like. She's also just a very nice and wonderful person, very hardworking, very good at prioritizing her time, and she is definitely worth checking out if you have not checked out her channel yet, so make sure that you do. But that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!